Hi, I'm Dr. Mohiuddin Ahmed. This is a part of a series in which I reflect on the universal questions that we all face. My reflections draw on three primary sources: my nearly 9 decades of personal life experiences, my background in philosophy, clinical psychology, and practice with people of all ages across multiple settings, and my recent readings in popular science, especially in my 70s and 80s following my retirement from clinical practice, alongside my years of own writings on mental health and psychology topics. Hope you will enjoy this series and look forward to my future presentations as I go along and carry on my life. I don't know when the whole show will end. Just like anything else, life ends. This life ends at some point, and then another stage of existence start. I'll be talking about all these existential issues of mortality, living, and adaptation as we go along. Hope I can carry on. Thank you. Memory and eternal connection unity. This message started as a private reflection, but I am now sharing in the hope that it may help others who have known similar losses of loved ones as we have experienced with the loss of our only child at age 54. Naturalistic perspective of continuing bond. Besides my son's grave, I continue to experience our bond physically and spiritually. The phenomena of quantum entanglement, which poses that previously interacting particles exhibit enduring connections despite separation across time and space. This has influenced my naturalistic reflection on continuing bonds, metaphorically, through whatever changes our bodies may take place in our natural world, that we always remain connected physically. Eternal bond from spiritual dimension. I also accept our continuing bond with our loved ones through whatever stages they are in reality, through our lived experiences, from a spiritual perspective, affirmed by many religious and contemporary traditions that understand love and personhood as participating in enduring reality of one. Whether one embraces a naturalistic understanding or a spiritual understanding or both finds meaning in both. These perspectives need not compete, and they may coexist in a parallel way without necessarily producing a cognitive dissonance. They represent complementary ways through which human beings interpret grief, love, and continuing bonds. Love to me forms invisible threads that endure beyond separation, viewed through both a naturalistic cosmological perspective as well as a spiritual perspective of the reality of one. Reflection of my expression of thoughts, feelings. We together faith-based beliefs from many traditions and science-based understanding of the cosmos as I understand, particularly through the lens of quantum physics, as I've come to know from my recent popular science readings by long background in philosophy and clinical psychology, educational training, and decades of professional practice as a clinical psychologist, and my own personal reflections enriched by many poets and thinkers of the world that I've come across. This idea of love and presence that transcend form appears in the poetry of Rabindranath Tagore, of Nobel laureate and philosopher poet of Bengal, where I grew up from. As a child, I came to love and memorize his poems and sing his songs. And I often listen to his songs now. In যখন পড়বে না মোর পায়ের চিহ্ন এই বাটে, আমি বাইবো না, আমি বাইবো না মজকে তোর এই ঘাটে গো, যখন পড়বে না মোর পায়ের চিহ্ন এই বাটে. As he writes, when my footprint will no longer mark this path, I'll have left behind name and form and gone afar. Yet I shall return again and again in new names, in fresh forms, carrying the same eternal self of mine. The 13th century Persian Sufi mystic, whose work I came to appreciate more deeply through my association with my Azeri Iranian father-in-law of my beloved son, affirms, don't grieve. Everything you lose comes around in another form. Goodbyes are only for those who love with their eyes, for those who love with heart and soul. There is no separation. The popular Irish ballad, Danny Boy, which my son's late mother-in-law loved, that I often listen to, echoes this timeless connection. But come, you may back, ye back, when summer's in the meadow, or when the valleys rush, hushed and wild with snow, then I will be in sunshine or in the shadow. That's why our son's beloved Filipina mother often finds solace in her Catholic faith and its promise of eternal life. My late father, A. Mohi, who lived in the Indian subcontinent, offered a Muslim Quranic perspective in his poem that he wrote on life and death. Man must die, await the inevitable moment, with only consolation in spirit. Verily to God we belong, and to him we return. Beliefs resonate with the Hindu concept of moksha, the Christian hope of resurrection, and the Buddhist understanding of nirvana, the ultimate release from human wants and suffering, and the merging of the soul with the one ultimate reality. Across spiritual traditions, there is this shared belief in an enduring, all-pervading consciousness from which all life emerges and to which it ultimately returns. I recall remembering Dostoevsky on the eve of my brother's death and our human longing for eternal connection. As I wrote, that night, some 25 years ago, as we said goodnight, my brother appeared frightened and anxious. My eldest sister began to pray from Quran, holding hands around his bed. One of us, I don't know who, started speaking softly about not being afraid of whatever lay ahead, about how we would all be together again someday, reunited with those living and those loved ones gone. These thoughts were spoken aloud, almost in unison, while we held hands, as if we were reassuring not only him, but ourselves. At that moment, The final pages of Brothers Karamazov flashed in my mind. The children mourning the death of the young friend asked Kalosha, can it be true, as they teach us, that we shall all rise again from the dead and shall live and see each other again, all of us? To which Kalosha replies, certainly we shall all rise again. Certainly we shall see each other and shall tell each other with joy and gladness all that has happened. Entanglement, connection across space and time. Some physicists suggest that time itself is not absolute, but relational. What we call the past may still exist in another form of now. Einstein once wrote to his widow of his close friend Michael Bezo that the distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. In quantum theory, the particle can exist in two states at once, hinting at a multiverse universe where past, present, and future may coexist. And this is consistent with the religious beliefs of all faiths in an all-knowing supreme being who knows all our past, present, and future. Whether expressed as the Atma Brahman unity of Vedanta, the Pritus Mundi of mystical Christianity, Tawhid in Islam, or Ein Sof in Kabbalistic Judaism, the message is the same. The soul belongs to a greater eternal reality of the one present both within us and all around us. This truth finds echo in the gift I saw hanging the other day on my son's house. A gift that reads, touch, listen carefully, I'm around, a reminder of a son's continuing presence. Expressed through physics, poetry, religion, or philosophy, one truth endures. Love is not limited by time. Our son's kindness, laughter, and devotion are not lost. His presence and memories of all our loved ones live within us, resonating across both the quantum realm of physical reality and the eternal spirit within the reality of one. The psychology of my daughter-in-law echoed the depth of our shared grief and enduring love, reminding us of the eternal connection that binds all of us. We draw strength from memories from one another and from the many ways our son, beloved husband, devoted father, cherished family member, loyal friend, and valued presence live on within time, beyond form, always in spirit, as do the loved ones of all of you and all of us, all of those with whom we form meaningful connections in our lived experiences in this world of reality before moving on to another stage of reality. This is my message to all. Visiting the graves of loved ones, enjoy revisiting happy memories of being together, and form eternal connection while practicing your own spiritual religious faith that you may have. That underlying unity as we all are diverse manifestations of one and remain eternally connected to our different phases of existential reality. Thank you for visiting this site and please subscribe to my channel if you wish. Although I'm now 90 years old, I will continue this work for as long as life allows. It reminds me of something my late eldest sister-in-law used to say whenever I called her to ask how she and my brother were doing in the 19th, she would laugh and say, well, we are in the waiting room of the train station. The train is, however, late, but we know it's coming any moment. I often feel the same. I feel as if I might live forever. At the same time, I also know I'm ready for the next phase of our existential reality of eternity, whenever it comes arrives. Please do visit mindstimulationtherapy.com and existentialperspectives.com for my writing, as well as my YouTube channel, Mohiuddin Ahmed 4486. Thank you again. Bye now.